Good morning, everyone. 20th Sunday in Ordinary Time. From the book of the prophet Jeremiah. In those days, the princes said to the king, Jeremiah ought to be put to death. He is demoralizing the soldiers who are left in the city and all the people. By speaking such things to them, he is not interested in the welfare of our people, but in their ruin. King Zedekiah answered, He is in your power, for the king could do nothing with them. And so they took Jeremiah, threw him into the cistern of Prince Malchiah, which was in the quarters of the guard, letting him down with ropes. There was no water in the cistern, only mud, and Jeremiah sank into the mud. Ebed-Melech, a court official, went there from the palace and said to him, My lord king, these men have been at fault in all they have done to the prophet Jeremiah, casting him into the cistern. He will die of famine on the spot, for there is no more food in the city. Then the king ordered Ebed-Melech, the Cushite, to take 3 men along with him and draw the prophet Jeremiah out of the cistern before he should die. The word of the Lord. Our second reading is from Paul's letter to the Hebrews. Brothers and sisters, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us rid ourselves of every burden and sin that clings to us, and persevere in running the race that lies before us, while keeping our eyes fixed on Jesus, the leader and perfecter of faith. For the sake of the joy that lay before him, he endured the cross, despising its shame, and has taken his seat at the right of the throne of God. Consider how he endured such opposition from sinners, in order that you may not grow weary and lose heart. In your struggle against sin, you have not yet resisted to the point of shedding blood. The word of the Lord. The Lord be with you. Reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus said to his disciples, I have come to set the earth on fire, and how I wish it were already blazing. There is a baptism with which I must be baptized, and how great is my anguish until it is accomplished. Do you think that I have come to establish peace on the earth? No, I tell you, but rather division. From now on, a household of 5 will be divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. A father will be divided against his son, and a son against his father. A mother against her daughter, and a daughter against her mother. A mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. The Gospel of the Lord. 2 weeks ago, Jesus challenges us to avoid greed and stir up treasure that God values. Last week, Jesus tells us that at a time we do not expect, he will return. This week, we're told that we need to be serious about our personal conversion to holiness and virtue. These conversions will require real change on our part, but may cause other people around us to be unsettled. If the company we keeps us close to sin and decay, then we need to leave that company and those people. Jesus warns us about the possibility of division. If we are going to follow Jesus, then new habits, new traditions, new friends are needed. Maybe even a new neighborhood or state. Alcoholics or drug addicts who have escaped the temptation have to be careful not to go back to old friends and neighborhoods where alcohol and drugs are still being used. When you go back to an old place, you may fall back into old habits. Our choice matter, and Jesus tells us to make the right choices in life. We fight abortion until a friend or daughter becomes pregnant, and then it's not so cut and dry anymore. We see ourselves as churchgoers until we visit family or friends who don't go. Rather than rock the boat, we don't go either. Jesus tells us never to diminish our faith because of someone else. Let others know the importance of church for you and where you can find a Catholic church. When so many people are divorcing, so many priests are leaving the priesthood, we need to remain committed to our discipleship. Even issues within churches are causing problems. The clergy sex abuse among Catholic priests is still ongoing with lawsuits. And now the Baptist Church that's meeting this time in Tennessee for their convention are now being looked at by the government for clergy sexual abuse. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a German Lutheran pastor and theologian, he died in 1945, wrote a book called The Cost of Discipleship. This is one of his sayings. Cheap religion is a religion without discipleship, a religion without the cross, a religion without Jesus Christ. Costly religion compels us to submit to the yoke of Christ and to follow him. God bless. Have a good week, everyone.